Hi everybody, my name is Shannon and welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a channel all about yarn, knitting, crocheting, all the antics involved with playing with yarn, knitting, and crocheting and having a lot of fun. So if that's the type of thing that you enjoy, you are in the right place. It is Monday morning. So on Monday, I like to gather around me, and it always surprises me every week. I gather around me all the different things that I have worked on and show them and talk about the progress that's going on in them and some of the decision-making factors and all that other stuff involved in creating, because some things work out really well and some things are accidents. It's just how that works, right? I am shocked. This is the end of the year, right? Obviously, we know that it's November 20 something, 26, something like that. I don't know, Monday. But it is crazy. I have historically really produced and in some cases overproduced November and December. Something about it with it gets colder and I want to make hats and I want to make warm things. I'm in Colorado and it's cold, go figure. And I love playing with wool. And, I've got socks that I have to make for my kids and, and their spouses. I don't make them for the grandkids. No. Their little feet grow too fast and they lose socks too easily. But that's a lot of socks and a lot of other warm things. And I just get to cranking. And then the other thing that really gets me at this time of year, I was just out with some friends earlier today and I was talking about that, is Fair Isle. I like to do color work projects this time of year. And I think I figured out why. I like to put it in hats, just add a little extra flair, a little extra whatever. And because hats are a perfect blank canvas to do that. Add lace, add cables, add a little bit of color work. Just have fun. You are painting with yarn. I mean, that is all it is. And this time of year, I am all about adding a little splash of color. So shall we see what I got to play with this day? I don't even know where to start. Do I start with things that I'm still working on? Or, yeah, I finished some things this week. Yes, because not every week do you finish stuff. You might work on things and depending on where the progress of your projects are, you're just not going to get it done. Or sometimes life happens. You've got work, you've got family, you've got different things. That's okay. Or heaven forbid, you've lost your crafting mojo. You know what you do then? You pick up one project, just one project, and you put on one stitch. Whether it's crocheting, you throw in a single crochet, a double, half double, doesn't matter. You can get all kinds of crazy and aggressive and put in a full shell stitch. I'm just saying, right? You can do it. Knitting, same thing. Pick up, if that's your project, pick it up, put on one stitch. If you want to go more than that, great. But if you've lost your knitting mojo, put on one stitch and then just set it aside. And don't get grumpy and don't get upset, because even during this time, you have done progress. Even during all of that, you haven't gone backwards, you have moved forward. And then you continue that until you've got your knitting and your crocheting mojo back. That's how you do that, right? That we all have our ways of doing things. Well, let's see. I was talking about color work, so I'm going to go ahead and show some stuff that I've been working on. This one's a work in progress. I gotta move something else out of the way. Holy cow, I have so many things stacked right here next to me. It's like a mountain. It's got fall on me. Yeah, that's okay. It's all yarn and soft. Yeah, that's fine. I started this using Joann's Big Twist. It's a 100% acrylic yarn, and I think I started it on a H hook and then I went down to a G hook, not on purpose, but I couldn't remember what I was working with and then went down, and you can see I definitely went down a hook size, but that's okay because this was just an experiment, right? Can you see the bee? Oh my gosh, I am so loving the bees. I've done 4 bees all around. I like to show the back side too, right? I started doing like you would with knitting, like pulling the strand in the back and just letting it, floats. And then I started crocheting over, in different areas too. So I did a little bit on both to see what I like better. I think in some areas in that solid blue, you can see some of the yellow bleeding through. I don't know how I feel about that, but too late now because I'm not pulling it out. So this is not my pattern. This is not my chart. This chart is from this pattern, Bumbles, Hats, and Mitts, right here. So that is what that one is from. The bumblebee chart is just so easy to see. It is so absolutely clear, but that is what it's from, and that is a knitting pattern. I did knit one and finished that one. I didn't do that this week, but I have done that. And then I wanted to do the same thing in crochet. The knit version is knit with fingering weight yarn on, I don't remember, probably size 3 needles. Probably, I don't remember. It's only like a week or so ago. I don't remember, and I didn't write it down. So you can see how it just pops, right? So I don't know if this is called tapestry crochet. What I did is I crocheted and split each single crochet so you can really see that V. And it looks almost like knitting. This is definitely crochet, and I definitely went down a needle size. So what do you think? You know, so it's been suggested, because I was just experimenting with it, that it could be a headband. And the fact that it does decrease up there, that plays in our favor. That's awesome. Or what I could do is I could mix the mediums, pick up stitches along here, and then do the ribbing down, you know, have that knitted rib, and then either crochet or knit the top closed. Not really sure. So there's options. What would you do with it? Would you just leave it like this and say, I'm done, I got a project, and then mark it off? Maybe. I'm not really sure. And I think it'd be a cute gift. I really do. I think maybe turning it into a hat and gifting it to somebody might be nice. I don't know. It depends on who likes bees. I like bees. Not everyone does. That's okay. So this was a lot of fun to play with. Just because the pattern was a knitting pattern does not mean you can't use that chart in any way you see fit. So I wanted to put my money where my mouth is, because I kept talking about that. Oh my gosh, look at that. That could be an awesome coaster. Oh, that's cool. There's a lot of different, that would be really nice. You can make coasters. That's, oh yeah, there's lots of really fun ideas and stuff like that. Having a blast. Well, keeping on the bee theme, oh yeah, I'm big on the bees. This hat, I'm looking at the pattern, Beeswax Hat, and it's not a hat because, well, it should be a hat, but I used different material. This is a cotton yarn. Let me see if I can get it to where you can actually see the pattern on it. There you go. You can see it looks like honeycomb right here and right here. Yeah, so this particular pattern I have had for years. I've literally had this pattern for years and just never started it, made it, or did anything with it. Yes, it is supposed to be a hat. Casting on 120 stitches using a DK weight yarn and size 4, I think they're size 4, maybe, oh no, these are size 6 knitting needles. Now, I knew when I cast this on, that was too much for this yarn. This is a garment-worthy cotton yarn. Where'd my ball go? Here it is. Yeah. Garment-worthy cotton yarn. This is K and C that you get at Joann's. It's a Joann's exclusive. The K and C stands for knit and crochet. It is, I don't know, it's a cotton yarn. I do know that. Essential cotton, 100 grams, 180 yards. And it is really, really nice. I've used it making dishcloths and stuff, but it's really, or washcloths, but it's really a garment-worthy cotton. But cotton does not have the same properties as everything else. So instead of a beautiful hat, oh yeah, I mean, it might look like it works, but that's just barely on. Now, if you have a lot of hair, bigger head, etc., it would still work. But for me, look at that. All right. So I'm about done. I mean, just turn that into a cowl, add some more ribbing on here, or maybe do another row of those. Yeah, you can't see it too well, but of those little shapes here. Let me pull it up so you can see a better picture of it, right? There. And that is what that looks like. And it is so pretty. It is so nice. This is a paid for pattern. It's called Beeswax by Amy Vanderlaar, V-L-A-A-R. I'm not really sure how to say her last name, but I really enjoy it. It definitely goes with my colors. Not everything has to be warm wool, etc. Some pieces can be a little lighter weight or cotton or something like that. It'll give you a little bit of warmth, but also breathability. So I'm happy with it. This is really cute. And we'll see if I top it off. I'm not going to top it off as a hat. That's not going to fit anyone. It'll be too loose. But I'm almost done as a cowl. And plenty of yarn left over. So that's my keeping with the bee themes. How fun is that? That is adorable. So I also made, where did my sparkly stuff go? I made a hat last week and I took it to the yarn store that I have in town, Everything Alpaca, and I dropped it off that they can put on display. And with that, I used these colors. That color is the Queensland Perth. It's a 100% Australian superwash wool blend, 80% superwash wool, 20% nylon, 437 yards. Loved it. And I used this gorgeous, and I don't have a ball band, this gorgeous, it's a cotton blend yarn with those hot pink sparkles. And it turned out great. Absolutely lovely. So much so that, look, the same yarn in a gorgeous different colorway. Oh my gosh. And oh yeah, I have sparkly sequins to go with it. So I'm excited about that. I did do, the pattern is a, I'll link that down below. So you can buy the pattern and not have any ads, commercials, all that other stuff in it. Or you can go out to their particular website and you can, you know, scroll through all the ads and commercials and what have you and look at the pattern for free. So it's your choice, and I'll link both of them. But let me see if I can get this up. I'm doing a corrugated rib. So you see the brown color was the knit stitches and that green is the purl. And I just finished my ribbing. I know it's curling, but it won't when I put it on. Just finished the ribbing and I'm going to get into that lace. That lace is kind of a tilted cockeyed leaf pattern. I love it. The purples and the hot pink sparkle was gorgeous. So much so that, oh yeah, I'm making this. Now these sparkles are just stunning. They're like little micro sequins. You see the difference on these. Look at those. Yeah. So if you have those fun colors and those fun yarns, use them. Have fun. Add sparkle to your life. Life can be boring sometimes, right? Put some sparkle on. Wear chaotic colors. Wear them all at once. I was in the Army for a lot of years. I wear a lot of chaotic colors now because I couldn't for a lot of years. So I make up for it. So that's my sparkle stuff because, you know, who doesn't want a bunch of sparkle? Oh yeah, I like sparkle. I love my sparkle. Let's see, what else should I work on? Okay, socks. If you've been around for a while, you know I have a lot of socks that I have to do. And this, I got some work done on these. So this one's here and I'm about halfway to the toe on that. So that's exciting. And doing 2 at a time, I'm about the same spot right on this. Oh, I'm tangled on this one. So that is awesome. So once I get finished, you know, to that little bit, I'll be able to close off both of them at the same time and I have a finished pair very, very soon. I've really, really liked doing this way. Normally I do them one sock and then the other. I love my double points. That's my preference. Yes, you can do them on circulars, doing 2 at a time. That's really smart. I just get extra double points and I still do them 2 at a time. But I'm using both ends of the yarn. So my stripe patterns are going opposite of each other. That's okay. They're fraternal twins. I'm good with that. You just have to be okay with that. If you're not okay with that, this will drive you batty. But it works for me. So really happy on that one. And then I've got another pair because I've got projects all around me. I've got projects in the car. I've got projects, you know, in my office when I work from home, if I'm in a meeting, you know, or something where I'm listening and stuff like that, then I can, no, I'm not on camera. I can do a little bit of knitting or crocheting and everything, set it down when I need to take notes, that type of a situation, you know, still being present, still listening, right? But I can do that a little bit. So that's nice, but I have projects all around me. So I do have more socks. I have my sparkle ones, which I'm gonna make some gnomes with this. This yarn right here, that is a beautiful Fair Isle Christmas pattern. And I love it because it looks like there's so much more work in it than there is. This is a for the most part, a plain vanilla sock. I have started adding that ribbing right there along the ankle. And that right there, it just hugs the ankle a little bit. It just gives that little bit more snugness, and it makes sure that it'll fit the recipient a little better. So you see, this one's completed. Yeah, I didn't start these at the same time, and I'm really kicking myself for it. But as soon as I bound the toe off of this, yeah, I know I've got to weave in my ends. But as soon as I did, I was really proud, and I cast on the second one. And I am 18 rounds. See, look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm working it. I don't know, they're fraternal twins too or whatever, you know, that's okay, right? Look at that, it's gorgeous. So I'm 18 more rounds to being able to do this heel flat right here. And once I get to about there, that's about half the sock. So I'm getting there. It is moving and it is growing, and that's exciting. And this sparkle yarn, it's not going to go to waste. I am going to use that to make Christmas ornaments, the leftovers, because I won't use all of the ball. And this is too pretty to just sit on the shelf. So I will be able to use that. I will be able to incorporate that in on some of the stuff. So very excited about that. Fun times. Oh my gosh, this has been such a fun week to really work on so many projects. I have them sitting around me and I'm like, holy cow. What do I have, project ADD or something? I don't know, ADHD, you know, just like, woo, 10 minutes on this one, I got to move to something else. That's just too much for me. I can't handle it. You know, looking around, I think that might be a thing. I got to work on my things we're making Thursday. My turkey, it just needs feathers. Oh my gosh. So he was able to stand up at our Thanksgiving dinner and join us. And I thought that was really cute. Yes, I have the brown eye and the blue eye because it just makes him special and he's beautiful. And yeah, I absolutely love him. So getting his wings on and getting his feet on this week. And you know, sometimes that's just enough in and of itself, right? You know, I like making amigurumi, but I've been doing a lot of them. And sometimes, you know, it's like, just set it down. That's okay. It's fine. I'm having a blast with it. And that's not the only one that I've worked on. Of course, it's not the only one that I've worked on. My poor anglerfish, it didn't get any love. It's staring at me. It's, well, kind of. It doesn't have all of its eyeballs. It has part of its eyeballs. But since I'm talking about it, right? It has part of, that's his mouth. It's cute, right? It's not done. It's not done. And you know, I had other pieces to it. I only had 3 pieces left. I had the 2 side pieces right here. I have this one that goes here, the fin thing on the back. And I'm looking right now and I don't see it. I see this, but I don't see that. And I don't see the eyebrows because it's got eyebrows, some big purple eyebrows. And I don't see the eyebrows. But I do have puppies that like to come in and get my little things. So, because I didn't put it away properly, I might have to make some more. Yeah. So, and my sister called. Yeah, my sister has claimed this for a family member, and I'm good with that. It just means that I can't procrastinate on it. Now this was just I've got important things that I have to do, gift-wise, etc. And this just moved up in the realm of I have to get it done. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where my pieces are. That wasn't very smart. I should have put them all in a bag. Yeah. Oh well, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'll get it done. It's okay. I'll do it. So that's not all I was doing this week. I had a bunch of other stuff. So speaking of amigurumi type, you know, things, I made a gnome this week. Look at this. Isn't that stunning? I love it. This right here was part of my mystery yarn challenge. I got a box of yarn in the mail. Yes, I did. And I had no idea. I didn't order it, right? I had no idea what I was going to get. This was part of a challenge that Lori from the Armchair Chef does. And she's been doing this for over a year. So I got matched up with somebody and somebody else got matched up with me. Or, you know, I sent a box out to a person and a box came to me. And I got an eclectic group of yarn. This is that big, huge pom-pom yarn, right? And it's got some beautiful fuzzy novelty yarn. And this was the mandala Lion Brand mandala, and I've used this color before and I liked it. I've used it before. I made hats with it. And then the little hands are a nice acrylic. I don't know what brand because it didn't have a label. Doesn't matter. And this green right here is homespun, right? All the way around there. And the whole thing with that particular challenge is if you can see if you can use a portion of all the yarns in one project. Now it's close to Christmas and everything, and you know, sometimes you can't put something together that looks what you would consider nice. And then in that case, you know, make one or two smaller projects or something like that. I successfully, well, in my opinion anyway, made a project that I think is stunning using all of those yarns. Yeah, and that to me was amazing. And he's so cute. He's so quirky. The hat right up here, this is a alpaca mohair blend, the purple part fuzzy mixed in with that pink. That's the same with the hand right there. So it just, everything blended. Everything worked so well together. And I am absolutely amazed. I don't think I could have made it cuter. You know, looking at my box, looking at all the yarns that I had, I was a little bit, you know, apprehensive, like, ooh, what am I going to do? How do I mix all of these? I had different weights of yarn. That's okay. I had different fibers of yarn. That's okay too. I had most of the yarns I'd never used before. I'd used the mandala. I'm not sure if I used that particular worsted weight value acrylic because I don't know what kind it was. This is a novelty. No clue, but it was fun. I definitely hadn't used that pom-pom yarn, and the mohair blend that's doubled in the hat. No, I hadn't used that. That's a universal yarn, and I'm looking forward to making something bigger with that because there was so many yards in it, and I just barely touched like 612 yards originally, and this is just such a small amount here. I can still do a big project if I choose to. So here is this gorgeous gnome. So happy, so proud to have gotten that done. But, you know, as the TV announcer says, but wait, there's more. I got the gnome done first, and I still had this, you know, a lot of yarn left, and I'm really into making hats right now. Yes, I am. I'm so into making hats. So the next thing that I started was working with that mandala yarn, and the mandala yarn goes in stripes, and it was a lot of fun to add details. Let me see if I can get this close enough to add details. I did some like a bobble right here in between the knit 2 purl 2, and that just dropped that stitch down and kind of broke up that color a little bit. And I did that at that natural break. I didn't break the yarn at all throughout here. It was just as the yarn came across the ball, and each time the color changed, I wanted to do something to accentuate that and do something a little bit different. So I was able to do that on every color change and dropping down and you know, I don't know what you call those stitches. I have no idea. They might have a name. It was all in my head, but you know, what's old is new and new is old, and who's really inventing anything nowadays anyway? But I had a lot of fun. And then I liked the way that the top looked too. It had a nice star because I really dropped those far and kind of made a puff stitch. And then got that stroke of genius since I had all of those pom-poms. That's part of the pom-pom yarn. I added some pom-poms to the top to really kind of finish that off. So having a lot of fun with that. And I love the brights. Like I said, I've used this color previously. I bought it. I didn't buy this, but I mean, I bought this color previously, used it, made hats, and was able to gift those because they're just gorgeous. So that was a lot of fun, just using up a little bit more of the yarn and making something else. And that'll end up getting gifted to somebody. It will. That's just how that goes. I make a lot of hats this time of year and give them away because that's just what I do. But it is November, the end of November. Some reason the end of the year, I get hit with the color work bug, and this is no different. Look at that. So this is another one that was in my head, right? I could probably look at it and figure out what I did. Look at that. You know, isn't that just gorgeous? I think that is stunning. That's that novelty yarn by itself doing all of the ribbing. And then I did... I started adding in that pink. That pink right there is the acrylic, that worsted weight acrylic workhorse yarn. And that novelty carries this hat. The worsted weight acrylic, it's not a bad acrylic. It's not. It's just that typical workhorse yarn. But that novelty is soft and fuzzy, and there's just enough in there in the mix that it keeps the whole hat so soft, so fuzzy. It is warm. It looks amazing. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You could see getting this one at a store. You could see that. You know, if you see somebody wearing that, it's like, oh, someone made that, right? That is really, really nice. I was so happy with this. And yeah, I don't know the composition except for the pink, you know, acrylic. The other one, I'm assuming an acrylic blend, but don't know. So thrilled. This was just so much fun. Absolutely gorgeous to play with and to make. But I have more because, yeah, evidently I just, you know, didn't have enough to do this week. Holy cow. I got into my sock bits and bobs and stuff. And I'm working with them like I did last year and just taking parts and pieces. And, you know, I have leftovers from socks. I just do. And it's gorgeous yarn. Why let it go to waste? And I'm making socks with, or socks. Yeah, I made socks. Now I'm making hats. Look at this. So this one I think had like 4 or 5 different bobs and bits of yarn. And what I've done is I'm doubling up the sock yarn and I'm using size 6 needles throughout. And I don't know, I think I cast on 88. I think I cast on 88 and then just started decreasing by the 8s, or what did I do? Oh, I cast on 80 and then I increased 4 stitches just to make it a little bit bigger. And when I started the decreasing, I decreased 4 on the one round and then started doing just the 10 stitches per, right? You know, decreasing 10, decreasing every other row. And yeah, it just very, very simple, very easy, nothing stressful, nothing strenuous, great TV knitting. And I love how all the colors blend in. You know, this was a doubled up of a couple right here and it flows in and just, I can't even tell you 100% where each one ends. I like a lot of color. My sock yarns have a lot of color. For me to make so-called scrappy projects, it's like the yarns fighting with each other because I like a lot of crazy colors. And it's an interesting one when I use like a self-striping yarn and then work on the doubling, you know, and then blending in another one, you're going to see that distinct stripe. You just will. And I've got a lot of colors with this. This to me, it's like the green fields and everything and going into the night, you know, like you know, the desert area or something along that line. It's very painting-esque to me, just the way that the colors bleed and blend together. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I had a lot of colors last year. This year, I have more colors that fight. That's a good way to put it. That's a definitely good way to put it. And this is one of them where I definitely used a striping yarn and you can really, really see that in here. So I got this one starting with those greens and then going into the blues. And you can see there was a stripe here, but I used two different yarns and carried that. And then up here, this is a different yarn right here, right? So I've got on this one again, another 4, maybe 5 balls of yarn. I think I might have 5 in this one. Just getting rid of scraps and in a wonderful, wonderful, usable manner and way. And it's just a gorgeous little beanie. It adds that pop of color. It looks fantastic. I like to wear mine kind of slouchy like this, but it also works for the guys who don't. You know, I've tried them on my husband's head. His is a bigger head than mine, and they look great. And here's this one. Let's go ahead and put this one on. I like this. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. All those colors right there. It is so unique. That is the fun part with all of these. Every single one of them is 100% unique. You know, could I make something similar? Maybe, but this is a lot of leftover yarns. And, you know, that's a lot of different parts and pieces and stuff. If you have minis around, you could definitely do that with your minis. These aren't minis per se. These are just part of my leftovers. and I'm having a blast. It is so funny. I have all this yarn, and then what am I trying to work with? These 1 gallon Ziploc bags of just these partials and pieces that I have left over. I feel so accomplished doing this, and I really like it too, because again, I'm in Colorado. It is really getting cold and bitter. And there's a lot of people doing hat drives and things like that. And yes, I know it's wool. A lot of people are like, no, you can't donate wool. Yes, you can. Just label it and let the people who receive it deal with it. You know, this is superwash. And you know what? Even if it weren't superwash and it ends up getting shrunk, that's okay. I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me as far as, oh, wait, it'll get ruined. No. It goes, once you make it and you give something with love and you send it off. And if it gets shrunken, if it gets whatever, that's fine. That's later on down the line. You know, most people don't wash their hats, or by the time they wash their hats, you know what I'm getting at. They've gotten a lot of love out of them. That's a good way to put it. And wool is such an insulating property. And you really, in this type of climate, makes a huge difference. So yeah, you can still donate. Pay attention to where you're donating and label it. That's it. That's it. You know, there you go. And if some places don't take wool, that's okay. Others do. There's a lot of places that do. And have fun. Have fun working with it. It is great. Well, that is the end of the hats, but I do have something else that I was working on. I don't know if you saw my sweaters of shame. Yeah, I've been working on a lot of sweaters. They need sleeves. Yeah, except for one. The rest of them, they all need sleeves. They just do. I showed 5. I really had 6, but I only showed 5. They need sleeves. Yeah, I have 5 things that need sleeves. One has sleeves and it needs a full yoke. Yep, that's a lot. But I got busy. So I had a few comments down below, and please feel free to comment me too. I really like it. I actually do read them. I know it's weird, but I do read them. I had a few comments talking about, you know, you should set aside one day and try to work on the whips or whatever, or the sweaters are gorgeous. My opinion, I agree. Yes, my opinion, they are definitely gorgeous. They're really pretty. You did a great job. You're so close. Go ahead, finish it, knock it out. So I put needles on one project that I have and started the sleeve. It's not done yet, but I got a lot of progress done. Even my husband commented. It was pretty cool. He's like, ooh, look at you. You're putting on a sleeve. It's like, don't tease me. But don't tease me. It's not nice. So this is the Harvest sweater. This is something I started last month. Look at the sleeve. Look at that. So I'm right there where I'm going to decrease some and then just start doing the garter stitch, which I've got at the bottom and all around the edges. So I'm going to do a garter stitch on the edging. I started this for my October Mystery Yarn Challenge. This is a yarn that I got in the mail. I finished the challenge using other things, but this one I'm like, no, we got to call it a quits. I'm not getting it done in time. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get it done, just not in time. So I'm working on this. I was watching Mission Impossible 4 and just knitting away and got quite a bit done. The pattern does have some decreases where I think you're knitting to maybe about here or something along that line, and then start decreasing and then pick up, start doing just the garter stitch edge. I didn't do any decreases. I have to count my rows. I'm going to probably do a little bit of decreasing, not a lot, because I'm almost to the end anyway, or my arm, right? I really am. And then I'm going to do that garter stitch. I'm not going to worry about it being so closed in on my arm. I'm just going to have the big sleeves and I'm going to be happy with it. That's my story. So there we go. I have almost a sleeve. I mean, that's a good chunk. I don't know. I'm not really dressed appropriately for that. I mean, it's not inappropriate. I'm just saying that I've got these big bell sleeves and then trying to try something on that has a sleeve. Yeah, I didn't think that through too well, but whatever. All right. I mean, we want to see, right? We want to see how that looks. I did it. I mean, see this. It's like I got a hippie vest on. Yeah. So look at that. My arm up there. So you can see I'm going to maybe do a little bit of decreasing and maybe not. Maybe just drop down needle sizes and just do a band that wide of garter stitch and bind it off and say, I am done. It is beautiful. And then immediately, don't stop. Immediately, as soon as I bind off here, put the needles over here. right? It's like, oh my gosh, just do it. Don't stop. And I'll have another project. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? I mean, were you guys counting? How many projects did I work on this week? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12? Yeah, I've got project problems. Yeah, that's a thing. It's amazing I get anything done. I mean, I dabble in so much and have so much fun with all the different things. And I look at it each, at the Monday, and I'm not joking. There's a mountain around me. And I gather everything around me, and I'm like, you touched that? Yep, sure did. Look, socks are longer. Hats that I didn't even start last week, done. Sweater, sleeve. Look, I didn't have that. I've got a sleeve, right? I mean, that's a lot. Practicing on that bee thing and all these other stuff. I mean, yeah, there we go. I'm ready. Just, I don't know. I don't understand. It's amazing. So there's my stuff. So, wow, that's just cool. Tell me down below what you're working on. I like to hear your stories and see what everybody's doing and just the amazing progress that everybody's made. And like I said, if you are in a slump, that is okay. 1 stitch counts. 1 stitch is progress. And you're good enough just the way you are. All right, everybody. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. Bye-bye.